If you're sleeping 8 hours and still waking up like you got kicked down a flight of stairs, there's a reason for that, and no, it's not because you're lazy, out of shape, getting older, or just bad at sleeping. And before I go any further, I'll say this once up front: if you want the full reset that actually fixes this pattern instead of chasing symptoms, I broke it down step by step in the guide, but even if you never touch it, this explanation alone usually flips a switch for people, because what's going on here is not what most sleep advice talks about at all. Here's the part almost nobody tells you: sleep is not recovery by default. Lying in bed for 8 hours does not automatically mean your body rested. Real recovery only happens when your nervous system fully drops out of defense mode, and a lot of people haven't done that in years, even while they're technically asleep. So you're not waking up tired because you didn't sleep enough. You're waking up tired because your body never actually stood down. During the day, your system is running hot, not panic level, not full meltdown, just constant pressure. You're managing, reacting, anticipating, holding things together. Even when you sit on the couch or scroll your phone, part of you is still on, shoulders tight, jaw clenched, breathing shallow. That low-grade stress becomes your baseline. And when that's your baseline, night doesn't magically fix it. What usually happens instead is this: you fall asleep from exhaustion, not relaxation. Your brain checks out, but your nervous system stays partially alert. Muscles don't fully release, breathing stays high and shallow. Your system keeps scanning for threat in the background. You cycle through lighter sleep stages, but you don't spend enough time in the deep, parasympathetic states where repair actually happens. So yeah, you slept, but you didn't recover. That's why you wake up feeling wrecked, heavy, foggy, achy, irritable, sometimes even sore, like you clenched your whole body all night. That soreness isn't random, it's tension that never let go. And the worst part is, because you slept 8 hours, you start blaming yourself. Why am I still tired? What's wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. Your system just didn't get the memo that it was allowed to stand down. This is also why caffeine stops working after a while. Coffee can stimulate you, but it can't replace recovery. If your nervous system is already fried, stimulants just push it harder. You might feel wired for an hour, but underneath that you're still depleted. That's why mornings feel brutal even after enough sleep. Another thing most people miss is how much the end of your day matters. Most people don't actually end their day, they just stop moving. Laptop closes, lights go off, body hits the bed, but the nervous system is still open, still tracking, still holding unresolved stress. So when you lie down, your body doesn't think, "Great, we're safe now." It thinks, "Okay, stay alert, just in case." And if that's the signal you go to sleep with, that's the signal you sleep in. That's why supplements, melatonin, magnesium, fancy mattresses, and sleep trackers don't fix this on their own. They can help at the margins, but they don't change the core issue. Your system never learned how to fully shut down. Here's where it usually clicks for people: feeling rested is not about sleep quantity, it's about nervous system state. A regulated system can get 6 or 7 hours and feel decent. A dysregulated one can get 9 and feel like trash. That's not willpower, that's physiology. This also explains why some people weirdly feel better after shorter sleep. When you don't sleep enough, your body dumps stress hormones in the morning to get you through the day. Adrenaline, cortisol, you feel on, even though it's fake energy. When you finally sleep longer, that chemical boost doesn't kick in as hard, and you feel the real state of your system, exhausted. People misread that as, "Sleeping more makes me tired," when in reality, sleeping less was just masking the problem. If this sounds uncomfortably accurate, that's not an accident. This pattern is insanely common, especially in people who are high-functioning, responsible, mentally busy, or emotionally contained. You're good at pushing through. Your body learned to survive on tension, but survival mode is expensive. Eventually, it collects interest. This is why in the guide I focus so much on retraining the nervous system instead of just optimizing sleep habits. Sleep hygiene matters, but it's not enough if your system doesn't feel safe enough to rest. You have to teach your body how to exit the day, not just collapse at the end of it. When that starts to happen, sleep changes without you forcing it. You fall asleep deeper, you stay there longer, and mornings stop feeling like you got hit by a truck. Another thing people don't expect is how emotional recovery ties into this. Deep sleep is where your brain processes stress, emotions, and physical repair. When that's missing, everything feels heavier. You wake up already annoyed, already drained, already behind. Over time, that leaks into mood, motivation, and even how you see your life. People think they're burned out from life, when they're actually burned out from never truly recovering. This isn't something you fix by trying harder to relax. That usually backfires. The nervous system doesn't respond to commands, it responds to signals, consistent ones. and once you start sending the right signals, especially in the hours before bed, this isn't something you fix by trying harder to relax. That usually backfires. The nervous system doesn't respond to commands, it responds to signals, consistent ones, and once you start sending the right signals, especially in the hours before bed, the whole system starts recalibrating, not overnight, but reliably. That's why I keep coming back to the same point. You're not broken, and your sleep isn't failing you. Your body is doing exactly what it learned to do under pressure. The good news is that anything learned can be unlearned, and once the nervous system relearns how to shut down, sleep finally starts doing its real job. If you want the full framework for how to do that, not hacks, not gimmicks, but actual steps that retrain your system, that's what the guide walks through in detail. I mention it again here because most people try to fix this piecemeal and stay stuck for years. This is one of those things where the order matters. And here's the last thing I'll say, because it's important. Waking up exhausted after 8 hours is not a personal failure, it's feedback. Your body is telling you it needs a different kind of rest. When you give it that, mornings stop feeling like punishment. They just feel normal again. And honestly, most people forget how good that's supposed to feel until they get it back.